Resolution 13-216 FD1 relating to a charter amendment relating to the Board of Water Supply. This would prohibit the rate and charge setting power of the Board of Water Supply from being used to establish retroactive billing practices. Before we proceed to take testimony, I'd like to ask the introducer of this resolution, Councilmember Pine, to briefly explain the resolution.
Thank you so much, Chair. I really appreciate this. Since I've been in office since January, I have received numerous complaints from my constituents who I've never heard from before in the 8 years I was at the legislature, who received these enormous bills, and many confusing bills because it was billing them 6 months back. And I supported the audit. I believe that will help to reveal a lot of important facts relating to other issues. But one issue that I felt that it was important for us to take a stand on is how our customers are treated. And we did some research, and other states do ban a form of back billing or retroactive billing that goes back many months within their water utility, and so that's where this legislation is modeled after. Of course, it needs some work, and we hope to hear from a lot of people today of their suggestions of any amendments or changes we should make to the resolution.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we will now proceed to take testimonies.
We are here, and we've submitted our written testimony. My name is Ernest Lau, the Manager and Chief Engineer of the Board of Water Supply. I have beside me Ms. Ellen Kitamura, my Deputy Manager and Chief Engineer. Thank you, Chair. I'll just kind of briefly go through my testimony. Respectfully, the Board of Water Supply opposes this resolution, which seeks to amend the revised charter of the City and County of Honolulu in 1973 relating to BWS. The revised charter will be amended to prohibit rate setting and charge setting power of the Board of Water Supply from being established to being used to establish retroactive billing practices or billing that pays for past expenses. The BWS recognizes that the introduction of this resolution was a result of issuing recalculated bills to our customers to correct previously estimated bills. We understand and empathize with our customers for the frustration, anxiety, and inconvenience that they experience, and we are continually working on ways to improve our services to our customers. During the implementation of the new Customer Information System, CIS, in January of this year, we believe that three major factors led to the generation of unusually high amounts of estimated bills. They are the conversion to a new billing system to replace a legacy system, conversion from bi-monthly to monthly bills, mainly because of the high bill amount for the combined water and sewer bills, which most of our customers face, and also the aging automatic meter reading radio read system. Once the problem was discovered, we worked quickly to identify and provide the needed resources to obtain actual meter readings and began a manual review of customers' accounts with bills based on estimated readings. We would cancel these previously estimated bills and recalculate each bill, provided that they were actual meter readings for that customer. The review and issuance of a recalculated bill was done to ensure that the customers accurately charged for the water that was actually used based on actual meter readings taken from their water meter. The BWS corrected the factors that contributed to high amounts of estimated bills, and the current number of estimated bills is less than the number of estimated bills that were generated prior to the implementation of the new system. It is only fair for our customers that every water service customer be held responsible to pay for the amount of water that they use. I want to interject at this point. I've received copies of the testimony that was submitted on this resolution for today. And I want to apologize again for our customers. As we entered into this new system and going to monthly reads, we encountered issues that we have not yet determined the actual root causes of those problems. We are doing an investigation to ascertain what is the actual causes so that in the future when we have to shift to a new system, which occurs usually about every 10 or 15 years, the old system ran for 20 years. We want to avoid these problems from ever occurring again. So I want to assure the Council we are looking at this very seriously. it is an acceptable practice that is used throughout the utility industry for, estimating bills. And within the state of Hawaii, the following utilities use estimated bills. The electric company, the gas company, as well as the other county water departments also use estimated bills. What is being proposed in this resolution is not the appropriate answer to this issue. As written, the language of the proposed charter amendment is vague and the true intent is not very clear. This needs to be clarified as what is meant by providing that rates and charges shall not be fixed or adjusted to be effective retroactively. If the intent is for us not to be able to do an estimated or adjust an estimated bill, whether it be a credit where a customer owes BWS money, or a debit where a credit where the BWS owes the customer money, actually a refund, or a debit where the customer owes the BWS money, then the proposal severely restricts our ability to bill customers for the actual water use based on meter reads. This measure would also may also create other intended consequences that may be precedent-setting. If you notice that in the resolution, the question is phrased relating to estimated bills, but the language in the charter amendment is actually very broad. So we're concerned that it may create other and unintended consequences where there are situations where we incur a cost, we do a project, and then we try to recover that cost retroactively. We feel that Resolution 13-201, which requests the city auditor to provide a comprehensive management performance audit of the BWS, is a more reasonable response. An audit will provide the opportunity to review our current billing practices, water rates, and policies and procedures. The city auditor will objectively examine and evaluate the operation and management procedures at the BWS and compare them with the best practices in the water industry. This course of action will be a more appropriate vehicle to make recommendations for necessary changes to our policies and procedures to improve our operations. We look forward to working with the city auditor to ensure that we are conducting business effectively and efficiently, and we are committed to improve our services to meet the needs of our customers and to be the best stewards of our water system and resources for our community. And again, for those customers that are affected, and I've asked the council members to please pass those customers on to us because we will work with each customer to get their issues resolved. If there are any customers here today, present here, I'd be glad to meet with them after the meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Councilmember.
Question, and members, I hope you don't mind as the introducer. I have a lot of questions, if you can just bear with me. Mr. Lau, thank you so much for being here today, and I do want to state publicly that I do believe that you and your staff are the right people to solve this problem, and I do believe that I have seen great progress in the problems that have occurred. You had stated earlier that you strongly believe that it's only fair that every customer pays for the water that they use. But don't you think it's also fair if you demand that on the customers, that you should know on a monthly basis and in a timely fashion exactly how much water they're using?
Councilmember Pine, I don't disagree with that, and that's why we have every customer that's metered to measure actually the amount of water that they use. We do have a lot of meters in the ground. They are aging. Actually, the meter reading system is about 10 to 13 years old at this point, so we are having problems with that meter reading system.
Okay. I hope you don't mind when I refer to the advertiser story today, because I just want to make sure that certain things are true, and so it helps us to understand the whole situation.
Okay.
So in the advertiser story, it states that 79% of your customers, or about 94,000 people, received an underestimated bill, while 21% received overestimated bills. Is that a true statement?
I believe that's the data we provided to the advertiser.
Oh, okay.
And it's data that we collected just recently, where we had to actually go back and now review about 1.4 million bills that were issued.
Okay. So, since about 94,000 customers received underestimated bills, does that mean that 94,000 either have or will receive now retroactive bills asking them to pay higher amounts?
I believe the number there, and maybe I'll ask Henderson from my office, head of our IT division, to come forward. I want to make sure I don't have copies of the numbers that was in the article.
Okay.
I don't have a copy of the article in front of me, but I believe the 94,000 was the peak month in March, where that was the number of estimated bills that was generated and sent out to customers. So about 94,000 customers received estimated bills in March. The breakdown between that month and the 94,000, how many were underestimated, how many were overestimated, I'm not sure if you have that information. This is Henderson Nukuhiva.
It says
head of our IT
79, I'm
division.
sorry, I probably shouldn't have put the 94,000 together. It says 79% received an underestimated bill, while 21% were overcharged.
Correct.
So the 79% of people will then either already have received a new bill with new charges that is retroactive, or they're about to receive some bills that are retroactive.
Yes, the vast majority of them, and I don't have the exact number, but the vast majority of them have already had the bills corrected. Either it was adjusted on the subsequent bill through the system, or was part of the multiple bills that had to be manually recalculated.
Okay, so there could be some customers that still get these multiple bills, then, or many months back.
We don't know, but we believe that the number has come down drastically.
Come down drastically.
The customers that specifically had multiple months of estimated bills.
That was our focus, basically, to drive that number down.
And it's most problematic for our customers that have the multiple months of estimated bills because the true-up or the correction could lead to them owing us funds or we owe them a credit.
Okay.
There are times, and there will always be, and I want to just let the council know, be very upfront with you on that, there will always be a need at times to estimate a bill. We endeavor to keep that number as low as possible, but there are circumstances sometimes beyond our control that a bill has to get out and is estimated.
Okay. So the article also says that because of the underestimated bills was so high, 79%, that the Board of Water Supply was short 3.89 million, or had a shortfall temporarily. Is that true?
That was the net difference, yeah.
Okay. But later in the article it says, but you have since made that up. Is that because thousands of people have paid their retroactive bills or paid higher bills?
So the answer to that is yes. I mean, basically, when the system corrects automatically, it adjusts in the next bill that comes through, and if the customer pays that bill, then the estimated bill from the prior month would have been correct, or would have been paid,
So do you know how...
or credited if we owed the customer back, because it would have been in the subsequent month.
Okay.
And what we're doing is charging for water used. So the recalculation is based on actual meter reads.
So in addition to making back the 3.89 million, do you have a surplus in addition to that?
I don't believe, so revenues that we have obtained, I think, catching up on correcting those bills, are all used to help pay for expenses.
Okay.
Frankly, just at this point, I don't have the exact numbers for you, but I believe anecdotally, the amount of resources I had to add to deal with the combination of the estimated bills, the conversion to monthly bills, our problems with our AMR system, we've had to staff up in a number of different areas, so.
Maybe surplus was the wrong name.
Yeah.
So in addition to making back the 3.89 million, did you receive more than that amount from the beginning of the year till now?
So the 3.8, 3.9 that was in the article was actually the net difference. So that
But you made
incorporates
it
both
back.
the over and the underestimated billing.
But you've since made it back,
Right, so it, yeah.
the deficit.
Yeah.
Have you made back more than that deficit, that difference?
Back.
Is now the difference from your original estimation of what you would normally get above your estimated?
No, it shouldn't be, because it corrects back to the actual read. So
Okay.
the difference, or what you might be asking
Again, I'm not
is
talking
that
about the read, I'm talking about the overall income or revenue of the Board of Water Supply.
Right, and it's based on the reads.
Is it above that deficit now?
I'm not sure if I quite understand the term deficit. What we have is, we have a projected revenue each month, amount of revenue each month, and it's based on projected water sales that'll generate the funds to operate throughout the year, because we operate based on, water rates and charges.
Maybe I could say this differently, and I apologize. Is
for the
your
month-
revenue above your projected sales right now?
For the month of September, yes, because we were doing the catch-up on the multiple month recalculated bills, and we got through a lot of them. For the month of September, I just saw we just reported to the Water Board just yesterday, the actual revenue collected for the month of September was above the budgeted amount.
How much above the budgeted amount? do you-
Ma'am, I don't remember the specific number, but
Okay,
I can
that's
get
fine.
that to you.
I'm almost done, Chair, I apologize.
So in a way, that was a kind of a catch-up to, after we true up on all these recalculated bills, all these estimated bills based on actual meter reads for the water that was used by our customers, and we began to collect those differences in payments. In the month of September, we noticed that there was an increase in revenue obtained for the month of September above the estimated or budgeted amount that we anticipated getting. And that was because of this recalculated bill situation.
Okay. I'm just going to read one more thing from the article, because I just want to make sure that we're receiving all the facts correctly. It says, board officials have acknowledged that numbers were abnormal, similar to what you have said. They say that getting an estimated bill for 1 month in and of itself does not typically have a dramatic impact on a customer's household budget. And your spokesperson, Tracy Burgo, said, and usually when a customer gets a one-time estimated bill between 2 real red bills and an estimated bill it corrects itself and the customer doesn't notice much of a difference. Do you agree with that statement?
That statement, I think, is generally true. However, if the customer, and remember now we go back to the bill estimation process, which we've been sharing with the neighborhood boards that we've been out to meet with. The bill estimation process, and actually I should let Henderson do that because he knows that very well. If their usage a year ago, because it looks a year ago, the current methodology looks a year ago for that same period. If that usage was very different from the current usage for the period, then that they might be underbilled or overbilled. But
So I forgot to read a sentence. She said it's really those multiple consecutive month estimated bills that are causing the complaints. Is that?
Yeah, that's the point I think I made a little earlier. The ones that are most problematic for our customers, and I apologize again to all our customers that got our estimated bills, especially for those that have multiple months of estimated bills, that can be most problematic for some of them. Henderson, maybe you can explain the estimation methodology.
Sure. The estimation process that the system goes through is like Ernie said, it looks back a year prior, the billing period a year prior, and then it takes the usage that occurred in that period in time and bases the calculation for the bill on that usage as an estimation, right? There's another tier or multiple tiers that it goes through though, because it could go back a year and not find a usable bill. If the bill back a year wasn't usable, then it'll go back the prior month. And then if that's not usable, then it goes to the third tier, which is what we call trend. And what the system then does is look at the database that it has for similar type of customers. So in other words, it doesn't mix commercial with residential, it doesn't mix single family with multiple family, for a given geographic area, and try to determine average use on that basis. We don't typically like the trend side because it's so broad, right? We'd rather have it specific to the customer, which is where right now it would be the 1 year back and then the 1 month back if the 1 year is not available. So that's how it actually derives the estimation.
Is there a way to calculate, knowing now how many customers receive these consecutive monthly multiple estimated bills?
That's something we're looking at as part of the root cause analysis. Rough numbers, we don't have the exact, we're still going through the data. Part of the challenge is that the system we have is basically built for production, or what you call just generating bills and transactions in that sense, right? It wasn't really built with the idea of pulling management or performance information out of it. So it's problematic in trying to get that, but we are working through that as part of the root cause analysis activities that Ernie wants us to help identify all the basis for why it happened, because it's multifaceted, and how much can we attribute to each potential cause. Part of that also is to ensure that we have everything covered, because if we can't quantify it all, then we know that we're still missing something. So that's also part of the root cause analysis, to make sure we've covered our bases and have taken all the proper steps to ensure that won't happen going forward.
Okay,
Or
so-
minimize, I should say, because it could still estimate.
I also want to inform the council and the public that's viewing this. There are some problems, I think, with our estimation process, the methodology that was available in the software itself, that I've asked the staff to take a close look at that, potentially revising that, something to a method that's probably will hopefully get us to a closer estimate of the customer's usage, and also be a little easier for our customers to understand. There is no real perfect way to try to estimate a bill accurately, because it's an estimate. But if we can revise the process, and we were looking very closely at that, to come up with a closer estimate that maybe is not so much biased toward underestimating the usage, but trying to be in someplace in the middle, and it'll be something that is easier to explain to our customers.
So I think from this conversation, I found one agreement with you.
I think we can agree on more things, but please continue.
And I think we are agreeing that it's these multiple monthly estimated bills that are truly causing the pain of our constituents, your customers. So then would you be opposed, and if we amended this resolution to only refer to prohibiting or banning any more than a month of estimated bills, or to prohibit these multiple monthly estimated bills on our customers?
Councilmember Pine, I know that Councilmember Chair Menor introduced Resolution 13-201, which actually has the city auditor doing a management performance audit and specifically looking at our billing practices. That I would agree that that is probably a better appropriate vehicle to look at revisions to it, as opposed to putting forth a charter revision at this point. If necessary, if the audit has findings that justifies a charter change in the future, then the auditor can come up with that recommendation. It is a complicated process to generate, and now since we're monthly, almost 2 million bills a year, and sending that out to our customers, with the majority of our customers having both a water and sewer bill on the same bill, I would say we need to proceed very carefully before trying to mandate something through a charter resolution, and later on regret it, that there may be unintended consequences that we may have to now introduce a charter resolution to undo in the future. So my suggestion, and we will work cooperatively with the city auditor, is to let the auditor do their job, and we'll look at the findings and work to improve where we need to, including the area of billing practices and policies when it comes to estimated bills. You raised a point earlier about looking at other utilities and their policies toward estimated bills. I think this will give us the opportunity to look across the country at some of the best practices in dealing with estimated bills.
Okay, just one final question, Chair, and then I'll head it over to you. So I noticed the chart that you brought today, that you wanted to show progress. And so,
Go ahead.
how did you reduce these estimated bills? Did you tell your staff that it is your number one priority to eliminate these multiple and estimated billings? Is that how you got that down, or did?
Yeah, this is where, again, Chair, I saw these numbers just about a week ago.
Oh, okay.
And prior to that, these numbers, I wasn't aware of these numbers. What it looks like is, shortly after go live, which is on January 22nd of this year, the number of estimated bills climbed suddenly. And again, it's important, I think, to do that root cause analysis to find out why. I know that once we became aware of it, and I personally became aware in that May or June timeframe, that we really put a lot of resources to try to reduce it, because what became evident is that we were having problems with customers with multiple months of estimated bills, and that was a target group that we really worked hard to try to bring down and work with them. But the reason for the rapid climb in number of estimated bills, that's still inconclusive at this point. I'd hate to try to even guess at it. I'd like to do this root cause analysis. I'd be glad to come back before the council to report on that and share that with the council. I do owe the water board an explanation of this situation and what led to it. But I would say the rapid decline, part of it is due, we put more resources. We worked really hard, sometimes working 7 days a week to try to reduce this number.
So this is where I'm having a disagreement with you. So you basically explain this is your top priority, to eliminate these multiple monthly consecutive estimated bills. So why won't you allow us to just put it in writing? If it's your main goal right now, I'm just having a hard time with that, because we're trying to show the customers that we really mean that this is going to end.
Councilmember Pine, I don't think we can, very frankly, eliminate the estimated bills completely from our system.
I'm talking about the multiple monthly estimated consecutive bills.
And I think part of that reason is the inadequate staffing, and that's where we've staffed up in critical areas to try to address that, so the manual review can be done in time based on the faster deadlines under monthly billing. So I think we have that under control. There may be still some that get out. I can't eliminate them completely, but we will work hard to try to minimize it, so hopefully we keep customers that have estimated bills maybe 1 or 2 months at the most.
For second reading, again,
But
for
again,
discussion purposes. Any comments, discussion?
Chair, I'll support your recommendation. I think a lot of people wanted to be here today, and sadly the people who are most negatively affected are the people that have a hard time getting here, and that's the elderly who are disabled and can't drive. And I think this, allowing it to at least go through second reading, will give the public some more time where they can share with us their stories. And there's countless stories that I have that I will be sharing with the council at another time. But I do want to make it very clear, I do not take introducing a charter amendment lightly. It is very unfortunate that our only ability to affect the Board of Water Supply in this way is through a charter amendment, not a regular bill or resolution that doesn't include a charter amendment. I'm very happy to see that there are board members of the Board of Water Supply here. I did go to their meeting yesterday, and we should go there more often. They were shocked that a council member showed up, and we need to have a better relationship with them. And I am encouraged that our actions that we've started to take here is encouraging them to look at the bigger picture and trying to have a more personal relationship with their customers who, as you can see by Mr. Quaresma, who's 90 years old. How many other 90-year-old people are out there that are just paying out of their savings that we've never heard of? It is our responsibility to use any force necessary to protect our constituents, and so I hope in any shape or form that this continuous, consecutive, monthly estimated bills is either stopped by us or the board itself.
Speaker, testifier, Virgie.
And I'll be working very hard.
Chariba? Chariba?
Jaraba.
Oh, okay, Chariba. Sorry about that.
Virgie, did you want to bring your family all up?
Oh
with you?
yeah, this is my dad.
Yeah.
Oh,
They can come to these ones over here if you want. You all want to come up together? Up to you.
You will speak with my daughter.
Okay.
Tell my daughter to speak with me.
Okay.
the reason we're here is that our water bill was okay from January to September 2013, but an investigator came to our house, like I guess October 11, when everybody was at work, and a week later we got this estimated bills, 5 of them, dating back from May 2013. and it's like in thousands. And now my dad owes like $7,000. And he's been calling me, and he's under emotional stress because the big bills came like one time. So that's why I'm here, and my dad.
Okay. Would any other members of your family wish to come forward to say a few words or to offer comments? They can come forward too. You speak for your family?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments or you'd like to make?
It's from our monthly bill was from $200. Usually $200, but now it's like, they made adjustments, and all, so it's like $1,200 a month for 1 month. And it's been nobody moved. We've been there, like the same people live there. So I don't know, the sudden spike on our water bill. It's the same people, and we've been using the same amount of water.
Good. Anything else? Okay, questions? Councilmember?
Chair, I have some questions.
Yes.
Virgie, I just want to go through your bill. We're going to publicly go through your bill so everyone understands
Yes.
what your family has gone through. So members, in the handout that you just received, in the first 8 pages, we'll see a check to the Board of Water Supply, first in March for $240, April $190, May $204, July $211, August $197, and so forth, all around either just under $200 or over $200. They've paid their bills on time and in full. How many years has your father been a Board of Water Supply customer?
We've been in that house since 1976.
Okay, so quite some time.
Yes.
Members, I'd like to take you back now to the end of the document, starting on page 24. These next documents that we're going to talk about, multiple mailings were sent to them just 2 weeks ago. So they received a credit for their May to June statement for $290, $9. On October 14th, the same day, they then received a back bill for the months of June to July for $1,163. On the same day, on October 14th, they received a back bill for July through August, where they now owe $3,092.44. $3,092. On October 14th, the same day, they received a back bill for August through September for $5,206. And they have a few days break. On October 17th, they received a back bill for September through October. Now they owe $7,410. So Virgie, who opened these bills?
My dad.
And did he call you immediately, or he tried to call the Board of Water Supply?
It was on a Saturday, so he called me and to tell me to call the Board of Water, but because I work from Monday to Friday, I work with the state, so he tried calling and he said he couldn't get through. Monday morning, he tried calling them and he said nobody answers the phone.
How old is your dad?
He's 90 years old and my mom is 89.
Okay. So till today, since 2 weeks ago, you haven't been able to talk to a Board of Water Supply person?
No.
That's all, Chair.
Okay, any other questions? I know that we were going to call the Mr. Lau to come forward later, but would you